You and I are more likely to listen to somebody who's above us. You see this with military leaders. You see it with public speakers. You see it with politicians. And there's a reason they do that. You look up. It's almost worship psychologically. You're more willing to listen. But the most powerful moment is when one of those public speakers, the Pope in St. Peter's Square, right? Out of a window, up there, looking up. Most powerful moment, though, is when the politician, the public speaker, Tony Robbins, comes off the stage and engages with you. He joins you. He is now one of you. Tony Robbins does that with his speeches. About 45 minutes of rah, 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 then about 45 minutes to an hour in the arena, on the floor, connecting with you. That's what the great ones do. The great politicians do it. The great speakers do it. The great TED Talkers do it. LeBron James has been the best player in the NBA, I'd say, for about 13 years. He has been on a stage. Players look up to him. Players listen to him. All eyes are on him. They follow him politically. They follow him financially. They follow him professionally. But the downside to being on that stage is all eyes are on you, and there is a great burden and a great responsibility. LeBron James this year has never stepped off the stage. He's had a lousy year as a leader. Not as a player. He's still very good. He failed to connect. He failed to engage his young teammates. He failed to mobilize, galvanize the locker room. He never made a true effort after the injury to connect with Luke Walton. One of the things we always hear about Tom Brady, every time we bring somebody on the show that's played with Tom Brady, what do they always say? He walks up to the rookies. Hi, I'm Tom Brady. And they're like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I have your jersey in my bedroom as a kid. Tom is stepping off the stage. He's connecting with you. I noticed it first with Obama about 10 years ago. I'm like, man, does that guy get it? It's not just about the stage. It's about stepping off it. Do a selfie. Do a high five. A hug. The great ones do it and they get it. LeBron's never stepped off the stage. He's always been a great player, and I've always loved LeBron. And I've always defended him to the core that he's actually a very good leader. Players follow him. They should. He's usually right. But he had a bad year as a leader. And that's okay. He hadn't had a bad year as a player. LeBron's still great. But in Los Angeles, it's been a conveyor belt of side projects. I've yet to see a Laker in any of them. Not even a walkthrough for Kyle Kuzma in a movie. It's been joining other stars. Hi, I'm up here in the stratosphere. Look at me. I'm a mogul. Yeah, I get it. I get the mogul stage. I started talking about it years ago. I get it. The show-off stage, the win a Grammy stage, I'm kind of a mogul now. I defend it. I like it. But this has been a really, really bad year for LeBron as a leader. His imagery with Luke Walton, distancing himself on the bench and in timeouts. That moment against Phoenix when he inbounded the ball and threw it off the backboard. Any other player in the league could have done that. But LeBron did it for the first time in his career. It was not a coincidence. LeBron, instead of leading, was basically sending a message. I'm done. The problem is LeBron was done about the All-Star break. Great player, great guy, a lot of great qualities, great guys around him, great brand, great net worth, great mind. There's a lot of great with LeBron. He's a lousy leader this year. Got to step off the stage, dude. Got to be one of the peeps, dude. Take a lesson from the football guy who's got 6 titles. And by the way, I'm often critical of Michael Jordan. But I always felt Michael Jordan, when he was with the Bulls, he was all in. In fact, sometimes I felt Jordan was rallying his teammates against management. But he was always all in with the players. Can't just be on the stage. Sometimes got to high five and do a selfie with your followers. We talk about the star players a lot. We talk about the slightly above, slightly below average players way less. And we never talk about the mediocre bad players. That's the way it works. By the way, fans mostly get it right too. But in the media, it's our job to get it right. It's not your job to get it right. It's our job to get it right. Talk about the right people. There's a reason I talk about Brady, I talk about LeBron, talk about Saban, talk about Kevin Durant. There's a reason we talk about him. We talk about the Steelers. We talk about AB. We talk about Todd Gurley of the Rams. The media, though, has whiffed on one. Steph Curry is the third most discussed player on the Golden State Warriors. KD should be discussed a lot. Draymond makes a lot of noise, kind of fun. I get it. But does everybody get 30 years from now, his legacy is going to be changed the entire sport of basketball forever, and he's got 4 or 5 titles? Like, that's like, okay, that's not even first class. That's flying the plane. Okay, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, and Kyrie Irving get discussed significantly more. We whiff on Steph Curry. This past weekend, Andre Iguodala was talking about it. His teammate Steph Curry said, I still don't think he gets nearly the respect he deserves. I told KD. He said he missed on a shot he took, and I said, yeah, you two are like MJ. There's no such thing as a bad shot. When you sit down and have serious conversations, he is the second best point guard ever. Yes, he is. But even Magic Johnson, I never thought changed the sport. Magic was just great. I didn't think Michael changed the sport. He's just great. Wilt Chamberlain, changed the sport. They had to change rules for Wilt Chamberlain. LeBron James changed the sport. Players are now positionless. Can you play or can you not play? But Steph Curry isn't dramatic. He's not needy. He's not on Instagram all day. He's not seeking headlines. He recruited a great player to come to his team and take shots away. We generally get it right. We've completely whiffed. 30 years from now, here's what people are going to say about Russell Westbrook. Yeah, I mean, he had triple-double, kind of an enigma, no titles, kind of hard to play with. That's what they'll say. James Harden, beard, MVPs, probably no titles. He traveled, and the refs never called it. He was a great offensive player. What people are going to say about Kyrie Irving? Flat earth. He left LeBron and the Celtics. Dude was talented. Remember the shot in Game 7? But kind of flaky. What people are going to say about Steph Curry is, oh, he changed the way they play basketball. He eliminated centers. He changed practice. Kids just went to gyms and shot threes. My son's not a huge NBA fan. He knows who Steph Curry is. The media usually gets it right. We've whiffed on Steph Curry. Okay? And maybe it's because Steph isn't loud, and Steph isn't seeking attention, and he's not a personal fireworks show, and he doesn't go on the shop and badmouth teammates. I understand, and I'm guilty of this. We talk about interesting a lot, and Antonio Brown right now is really, really interesting. And maybe Steph Curry's just not interesting enough, but generally in the media, great players get the talk, average players get a little talk, bad players get none. When's the last time before this I had a Steph Curry segment? A year ago? It's on me. It's on the media. Can't just talk about people who are trying to get talked about. Sometimes you got to look beyond that and talk about who is going to end up with one of the all-time great legacies in the history of the sport. I mean, there's how many people can you say in sports changed the sport? I mean, Muhammad Ali changed boxing. Boxers became self-promoters. Muhammad Ali changed boxing. Tiger Woods, no, he changed golf. Guys started eating right, doing push-ups. There's 7 guys in the history of sports that changed it. Steph's the third most discussed Golden State Warrior. And
while most people consider him to be the greatest shooter or one of the greatest shooters of all time, he's never in the conversation for the best player.
Ever.
On
his own team. It's right. Well, KD's right. Better.
Well, I think he was considered the best player on his team before KD got there.
Right.
But now it's just not even a question.
Yeah, there is something to be said about incredibly coachable. He's the best ball handler in the NBA. He's the best shooter in the NBA. And it's going to be about a decade to 12 years where he's the best at 2 things. Magic was the best passer and probably the best leader. Magic was never the best shooter, best defender. I mean, Larry Bird was almost as good a passer. So I think we've kind of whiffed on that. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.